Hi, everybody. On behalf of Accu-Stats Video Productions, we'd like to welcome you once again to the Southern Classic Tournament here at Harrah's Tunica. We've got a real special treat for you to open up today's play. Before we get to our 3 10-ball matches, which we're going to play out for you today on a 10-foot table, which has now been brought into the arena, we have a very special exhibition here of American rotation pool. And we will have our commentators explain all the nuances of that game to you as play gets underway. So I'd like to introduce the 2 players that have been so agreeable and helpful for us in putting on this little exhibition. Our first player comes to us from Darlington in the United Kingdom. Youngest player ever ranked #1 on the UK Tour. It's Phil Burford. And his opponent from Glasgow, Scotland, also someone who has been on the American pool scene now for just about 2 years and rapidly making an awfully big name for himself. We love him, lefty Jayson Shaw. So at this time, I'm going to thank you very much. They're going to lag for the break. We're going to lag for the break, and then we're going to send it up to the booth to Matt Tetrault and Bill Gibbs, and they'll explain all the nuances of the game, the way the balls are racked, and how the scoring system is working. And this will be a race to 100 points.
Accu-Stats Video Productions presents a look at a new way of playing pool and possibly a new league that's being formed by Joe Tucker and Mark Griffin. It's American Rotation. I'm Bill Gibbs, your host. I'm joined here in the booth with Matt Tetrault. And Matt, tell us a little bit about what's going on down there.
Okay, well, American Rotation, like he said, a new take on rotation, played on a point scale. Each ball, 1 through 10, is worth 1 point. 11 through 15, worth 2. They're going to play a race to 100 today. And, okay, scratching the break and made a ball. So that ball is going to go to his opponent. So Jayson will get the, let's see. He'll get the points for that ball. And now he'll shoot with ball in hand. It's call shot and call safety. So if a player were to miss a shot, the incoming player would have the option to either shoot or pass back to his opponent. They'll play the first rack out, and whoever makes the last ball of the first rack will break the second game. From there on, they'll play alternating breaks. And they'll play alternate breaks, ball in hand. So immediately after the break, they'll be able to pick up the cue ball and put it anywhere on the table, basically giving each player a start at some offense.
Now, I noticed there that Jayson on his first shot did a 1-11 combination, and then he made the 1 ball after that. So right now he has 3 points. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, what about the ball that was pocketed on the break?
And he gets the point for the ball that was pocketed on the break. Right now, I need to see which ball that was.
I think it was a 12 ball.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see the 12 up there, so that's my guess.
Yeah, I believe you're right. So actually, the score is 5-0, Jayson, and looks like he scratched there, and we'll have Phil coming to the table now. Thing is, on this, I've been playing this American Rotation for about 6 months, mostly on the 9-foot table. It's going to be interesting to see the difference in the game on the 10-foot table. I think the balls are going to spread out a little more. It's probably going to be a little less defense, and the folks at home are going to be get some entertaining offensive pool here today.
Well, just for the folks at home, pretty much this league is appealing to the sort of shortstop level, regional, player level.
I think it's geared more towards your top local and regional players.
Right.
Mainly because of the slightly more difficult game of rotation. And hopefully, also be able to bring it to players of all skill levels.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. We had talked earlier about, the possibility of points handicap, for lesser players being able to play with the better players. But I think the original intent's important here because Joe Tucker and Mark Griffin have an idea that the regional players is their projected, participants in this league, I think, right?
Yeah, so I believe when the league starts up, which is very soon, I encourage anyone who sees this game being played and has an interest in it to either contact Joe Tucker or CSI or your local pool room and see if they can get involved. But, yeah, I think that, right now it's going to be on a scratch, non-handicap level.
Right.
And I think at some point they'd have no problem working out some kind of handicap system for it.
Well, Phil's making short work of this rack. On this 10-footer, it looks like he's playing on a bar box, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, especially
this is exciting.
with his background, coming from overseas, probably playing a lot of snooker as a young guy. He's no stranger to the big table.
Well, it's certainly exciting to watch these young men run out. I got to say, the execution that they exhibit is often flawless. And Burford's a great example in this rack. He got ball in hand with that scratch. Jayson got, 5 points there, and now Burford pocketed the last ball, so he'll be breaking. Is that correct?
That's correct. And then from that point on, the score right now is 15-5. Phil Burford leading, and now he'll break the second game. And from this point on, they'll be playing alternating breaks. So we'll get a chance to see both players, step up there, and have their shot at winning.
Well, this is really interesting because they got through that rack very easily, and the points were just simple. There was nothing complex about that at all. And it's pretty neat, the ball in hand after the break, because you really get an opportunity to do something there and get the rack kind of handled, to some degree because of the ball in hand situation.
Yeah, and I think it makes the game a lot more exciting. I think there's a lot of situations in rotation.
After rack number one, the score is Phil 15, Jayson 5. Phil's breaking. Rack 2.
Again, a lot of situations
First to 100 points.
Where when they're breaking, they could end up with a lot of defensive situations at the beginning of the rack, and it could get fairly boring. Well, now Phil's scratching the break.
Didn't make anything though.
Nope, didn't make anything. If he had made a ball, it would that ball would be awarded to Jayson, but Phil would still get to stay at the table, take ball in hand, and keep shooting.
So the incoming player has an option, as does the outgoing player to some degree, from what you're saying.
Well, after the break, yes.
Right.
After the break, when there are options as far as, say, when a player were to pocket a ball illegally.
Right.
Now, say if he pocketed a ball illegally and the incoming player is left safe. Well, if he opts not to come in, the ball pocketed illegally will go to whoever takes the table.
Gotcha. Well, Phil's getting kind of a running start here.
Yeah, if that 5 ball passes, or if he can get on the proper side of it, he should be in pretty good shape in this rack, because that really so far looks to be really the only problem out there.
Right.
With that 15 ball there, but I like. I'm really enjoying this so far. Just a couple racks in, seeing the difference in the layouts from what I've seen from playing it.
Right.
Far more clusters on a 9-foot table. And this is going to be really fun to watch these guys run out some racks on this big table for sure.
Well, I think Phil's looking at that 15-5 carom. He'll be playing the billiard when he gets up there probably, and that's going to get him out of this. We'll find out right now. He's left an angle that's perfect for that.
Sure, yeah, that definitely looks to be on right there.
So probably hit this with a little low left and draw off the 5 right into the 15. Oh, he just rolled it with follow.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
5 ran a little bit on him, but he still looks okay. That's the nice thing about that carom. It gave him automatic position for that 5, or nearly automatic position.
Well, as long as he doesn't hit the 9 too weird, he should get on the 6 ball okay, too.
Yeah,
when he's coming through there. He may go right through
He might
where the
go
5
right
is.
by and
Yep.
play the 6 in the side, because depending on the angle he can get, it might run him right down towards the 7.
Yep, you're right. He had enough angle to get there by the 9.
Yep, but he's gone a little bit past that. He's probably going to have to, if he wants to get back down for that 7, he's going to have to go up and down the table, maybe maybe he'll try, especially being an exhibition. Maybe he's going to open up a little bit, and maybe he's going to go up to that end rail, maybe spin it around the corner, and come back down towards the 14 ball.
There it comes.
Okay, not too bad. He would have been ideal to get by that 8 ball, but he's still got a good shot, and he'll be able to play that combination on the 8-14 if he can. If he can make this ball.
Well, he's looking at that right now, where he wants to be. Very nicely done there.
Okay, good shot. And he opted to run into the 8 and just play the 8 ball. I thought he might be able to just follow that straight up and down and get on that combination, but
well, bumping into that ball, he may have kept the ball from going way far upstream.
Oh, nice shot.
And, he's got a nice shot on the 9 now. So this rack's getting simpler by the moment.
Yeah.
But on a 10-foot table, I don't think anything's simple. And Phil Burford makes it look like
he sure does.
It's his morning stroll.
Okay, and the score currently is 24-5. We've got 5 balls left on the table. Right now he's shooting the 10, which is the last 1-point value ball. The rest of the balls on the table will be worth 2, so he'll be able to do some scoring now. But it's also very important to make sure you don't make a mistake at this point, because this is where the incoming player can catch up. He can.
Well, there's 8 points available now on the table.
Yeah, and
now 7. Excuse me, just the opposite. 9 were available there because the 10 ball was 1.
And
correct. 4 balls on there's 8. So now there's 8 points available.
Yeah, that's and with that being so, it's critical not to make a mistake late in the rack. You can really score heavy in the beginning, make all those balls, and you make a mistake on the 11 ball, and the other guy can tie up the rack with you.
Well, right there, Phil just overdrew the ball, and he got a little out of line. Let's see what he does right now. Shooting the 12 ball. He's got to either bank it, and I believe that's what he's going to do. Well, he cut it in.
Oh, he cut it in. Nice shot.
No problem. Wow.
Okay.
I know.
Now
he made that look pretty easy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That was a
like
very
I said,
difficult shot.
He's right at home with all that room to move around on this big table. Okay, so
Nicely
13
done.
and 14. And the score now is 35-5. Phil Burford has the lead.
And Jayson Shaw will be breaking now. Is that correct?
That was a full
yes,
rack
Jayson
run
Shaw
out
is
for
break
Phil,
now.
20
So
points.
now we
He
get to see what he
leads
can do
35.
and see if he can start getting back into this.
And he has the possible of getting 20 points here. So the best he can do when he leaves this rack right here, if he ran every ball on the table with a break, it would be 35-25.
Correct. Yeah, so the best he can do is down by 10 balls, and Phil will have his chance to keep extending that lead.
Well, just for the sake of our audience out there, let's really get a good read on how exciting this is with the point difference there, because, that was a beautiful run out by Phil. And now we've got to see the same thing from Jayson to keep it close, basically.
Yeah, and really even a lot of games, you could get a 30 or 40-point lead.
Right.
The breaker doesn't get a favorable layout. You score heavy on his rack and then on your own, and before you know it, you're right back to a tight match.
Well, Jayson scratched on the break there.
Okay, and I don't believe he pocketed a ball, so no balls awarded to Jayson for that scratch.
But he is shooting because he got ball in hand after the break.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You get to, Okay.
Got a little fortunate there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Jayson likes to, he hits the ball pretty firm into the, and lets that cue ball travel a bit.
That he does. How about that shot coming behind the 4 like that?
And he controls that speed so well too. I mean, he doesn't take too much time getting at it.
And he broke the cluster.
Yeah, he broke
wow.
the cluster. He's left himself some distance, but
and he's got
the 7 ball is right near the pocket, so.
Well, he missed the 6 though.
Just a little bit too aggressive, I think. He could have rolled at that a little bit and hit it a little easier, coaxed it in, and then had that 7 hanging so close to the hole he could have regained position.
Well, they got 5 1-pointers there.
Yeah, so now the score's 35-10, but it puts him in a pretty tough spot now because Phil gets another good run out and he gets okay.
We jinxed Phil right
yeah,
there.
We did. I'll have to apologize for that one after. Okay, so Jason's back up. Maybe he can catch up. Of course, he's got to get by that 8 ball. Not sure whether he'll try and sneak it in there just for some shot on the 8 or try to play that combination. I'd imagine he's probably going to go for the combination.
Well, I'll let you make that call because you know what? Jayson Shaw obviously does a lot of things with that cue ball that you don't anticipate. So hard to call which way he's going to go at the 8 here. And he's coming behind it.
Yeah, he's proven me wrong.
Now, he knocked the 10 ball near the pocket. Had he pocketed that ball because he had called the other ball, that would have been a good shot. He called the 7, bumped the 10. Had it gone in, he would have got points for that as well, right?
Yes, he would.
And he made the 8, of course. Now he's on the 9. No problem. And he's shooting the 10 right now, which is the last of his 1-point balls, I believe. Is that correct, Matt?
That's correct, yep.
Cool.
So now he has 10 more points left on the table to take down. And, we've got ourselves a match. He gets through these. 10-point lead for Phil Burford at that point. And
I do like this, from a personal standpoint. This game makes a whole lot of sense to me. And there's just a lot of opportunities with this. I think this is something that, could pick up the idea of pool with the lesser players. It might really give them a way to sort of bridge the gap between just being ball beaters and actual players.
Yeah.
I hope it goes there.
And stepping up the way they think, the thinking side of the game, a little bit more strategy as opposed to their regular 8 ball or just 9 ball, where like I said, this game really works all aspects of your game.
Right.
You need to break good because you need a good spread to have a chance to run out, and you need to be able to move the cue ball through some tight spots and play good position. And
right.
And always, as every game, you need to be able to pocket balls, but also the defense, which we really haven't seen any defense in this game yet.
Well, we're looking at some pretty high-octane offenses.
Yeah, yeah, these guys can they basically can get the cue ball wherever they need to and are incredible shot makers. Okay, so Phil's broken, and I don't know if he's made a ball. Let's see.
Well, we might see strategy in play right now. Phil gets ball in hand after the break, and he didn't scratch this time. Did you notice that? So now with ball in hand, the balls are all apart, and he might make short work of this rack. We'll see.
Okay, I think he made the 12 ball on the break. Yeah, the 12 ball he made.
Yeah, I don't see it up there. I do see the 13, but not the 12. Well, wait a minute. Here's the 12 up on the end rail. 13 down
Oh,
the
he didn't make
sidewall.
anything. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, I think we're just sitting with the original rack. Now, he's pocketed the 1 ball already with ball in hand, and he's on the 2, and he'll shortly be going to the 3. And the 4 ball's down here by the lower right-hand corner pocket as our viewers look at the screen. And, wow, that ball came right out of the pocket.
Surprising you missed that, but being shaded by that other ball, sometimes you can just steer that shot a little bit. So now we get to see what Jayson can do, see if he can continue on his good play from last rack.
Well, now in theory, Shouldn't Jayson be able to catch up in points here?
Yeah,
Because 20's available. Well, actually 19's
19
available.
to
Yeah.
Jayson, correct. Yeah, and that would put him at 44 to 36 at the end of this rack if he were to.
So he could take the lead essentially right now.
Yes, he could.
Very good. Very good. Well, he's going to shoot. Look at this shot on the getting from the 3 to the 4. If he bumps the 14 down here, he might stop. When he came above it, hooked. So this is where the strategy comes in.
Yeah, I wonder.
Rail first.
Rail first made the ball.
Beautiful shot. As we mentioned earlier, high octane offense.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to hear too many safety calls in this match.
Well, on a 10-foot table, rail first, I can't say that was an easy shot, that's for sure.
No, I don't think it's ever an easy shot.
Look at this. He came up with good shape on the sips. He bumped the 10 there. Still has plenty of room to make it.
Okay, you got a little in between there, almost a 50-yard line on the 7, but I don't think this will be too much trouble for him.
Just doesn't want to hit any balls down there. They're all open. You got right in between the 9 and the 14 very nicely.
Very nice. Yep, and that 9's available. Looks like there's no problems here.
I wonder if he'll go to the end rail and come back down the table here, and he does.
Yep, there we go.
Now he has to get back up the other end of the table, and he don't want to hit that 14. He wants to bypass that.
Looks like he's just going to go straight up and down. Yep, there we go.
Just what he did. Nice pattern. Developing very nicely. Probably come 2 rails off this 10 to the 11.
Yep, give himself a little angle there. Get a little.
Got a little flat there, didn't he?
Little straight, yeah.
A little flat there, and he pointed on the cloth up there where he wants to draw this ball to. And that'll work. That will work.
Okay.
He's got just enough to get there. Didn't get where he wanted to go, but that's good enough, I think. And with the position of the 13, all he has to do is pocket this 12 and float up and down probably. I think he's hit this 50-yard line. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it looked like he didn't have that going as straight as he would have liked to. The angle wouldn't be so bad if he was a little closer to that ball. I don't think he'd mind, but I don't think there's too many shots that bother Jayson out there.
Nicely struck there.
Yeah,
that was
very
good
nice.
speed on that ball. Looks like he's taken the lead.
He has. He has taken the lead already, and with this ball, the score will be 44 to 36, favor of Jayson Shaw.
Man, they make it look easy. This is exciting. Now he came from behind, just took over the lead.
Yeah,
and,
like I said at the beginning, wouldn't surprise me at all to see both these players in the 90s coming down the home stretch to 100 points. Yeah, it's really nice to see this game being played by 2 great players. I haven't seen top world professionals play it yet.
Right.
And they really make it look like an offensive game. That's for sure.
Well, the balls are racked. We're ready to go. And of course, Jayson, whether he scratches on the break or not, it won't matter. Ball in hand after the break.
Yeah, worst thing is he makes a ball or two and awards a couple points to Phil, but he'll still have the chance to keep shooting.
If he did scratch and pocket balls, correct.
Yeah.
So
let's see if he's going to break him really hard again or whether he's going to try and control it somewhat. I think the fact that where they still get to shoot, take ball in hand and shoot, they're not as afraid of losing the cue ball. Not afraid of that scratch, so they're really trying to get him open. Well, he made the 6 ball there.
he sure did. And the 4 and the 12 are just a little tied up. That's about all that's tied up on the table. They're not really tied up, but just a little awkward.
A little work to get from the 3 to the 4. But he'll have a couple options depending on what side of the 3 ends up on.
You know, with this guy, he might go into the balls, at some given point in time, just open that 4 up. We'll see if he does.
I think he's gonna clear. Oh, for a second there, I thought he was playing the 1 off of the 13. It kind of looked like he was lining it up that way, but
Yeah, I like that myself.
If he could have, I think he probably would have gotten it right out of the way.
Well, he tried to bump it with the cue ball, the 4 ball, and just get a little lined up. So let's see how he chooses to play this. 3 to the 4 is his issue. And that may
could
actually
possibly
be the
play
5
for a
over
bank
there,
here. He
really.
might possibly play position for the bank.
Well, I think that's the 5 ball. Now that I'm looking at it, it's a little tough to see.
Oh, yes.
So the
okay.
4's in the side, the 5's coming up next, and we'll see whether he chooses to play the bank or not. Pocket the 4, and he's going to go down to, well.
Yeah, from that
came
angle,
over.
I don't think he had to. He could just sneak it over here. That's a really good angle for the way these balls are positioned. He got right where he wanted to get there.
Boy, he handled the ball perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
It makes that shot like it's in his sleep. That was no easy shot.
Yeah, where he got placed on that 5 ball was almost as if he took ball in hand and placed it there. It had to be exactly where he wanted to go. All right, so Jayson Shaw off and running. So it's funny how things can turn so quickly. Just a few minutes ago, Phil Burford had about I think approximately a 25-ball lead or so, and now he's going to find himself, quite possibly at the end of this rack. He could be
35-ball deficit somewhere in that area, right?
Yeah, about 25 to 30 balls at the end of this rack. We've got possibly 12 points left here. That would, that would put him up by, let's see, 28.
Well, he got a little tied up there. He tied up 2 balls, the 12 and the 15. So coming off this 11, he needs to do something with those 2.
Yeah, he's created a little work for himself there.
Well, he's looking at it right now. He's going to come off the end rail and go into him, it looks like. Try to bump that 15 up and move the 12 over a bit and have a shot in the corner over there. There it is.
Okay.
He left a bank. I think that's all he's going to have here. Well, that's the 12 ball on the rail up there, not the 13.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was the other ball there.
Tough to see that orange and pink, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes. Looks great on the screen at home, but a little hard to see from a distance.
And he's missed. So, there are 8 points on the table, and the 6 was pocketed on the break. So, our ball count would be at this time.
Right now the score is 56 to 36. So at the end of this rack, Phil could just be trailing by 12 balls.
Now he's chosen to play
a safe.
He's chosen to play a safe here.
Looks like he's gotten him there. He might have to jump or swerve a little bit. Yeah, a little swerve. Ooh,
missed the ball.
He played it for Jayson. He played that ball kind of passively. I thought he would have. He wasn't quite as aggressive as used to seeing him.
Now, what's the penalty here? Let's go over that for our viewers.
Well, just ball in hand for the incoming player. Really, the only time there's a penalty other than ball in hand is if you were to pocket a ball and scratch.
Gotcha.
At which time the incoming player would get the points for the for those balls.
And Phil's going to clean up these last 4 balls. Very nicely done. And the ball count now is?
Yeah, at the end of the 5th rack, we've got a score of 44 to 56. Jayson Shaw is leading, but Phil Burford's going to be breaking again. And
he's only 12 points behind.
Yeah, he's only 12 points behind. So we could see a lot of this as this match goes on, a lot of back and forth. And yeah, I think that this game could really catch on where a lot of players could find themselves improving their game by playing this more often. Like I said, in practice, whenever I've played with somebody in practice, I haven't played any other game for the last 5 or 6 months.
Well, we want to wish Mark and Joe Tucker all the best, Mark Griffin and Joe Tucker, with this new American rotation. And along with that, I come right back to when you say that, improving your game and the ability to get a little more going on. And the ball's clustered up, in
Yeah,
this rack a
yeah.
little
The
bit,
first
so.
time we've seen that. But right now he gets to take ball in hand. Maybe he can do something about
Right.
it. It looks like he can. Looks like he can play this combination. He might be able to play it hard and break out that 7 ball and hopefully land a shot on the 1. Okay, he played a little more conservatively. Just played the combination.
Kept control of things,
Yeah.
yeah. But what I was about to say was we're leaning into that direction where, I think this game would be very good for the, neophyte players. Be a little less points maybe, but, the idea of getting ball position, running a few balls, that's going to come to them playing this game. It's pretty obvious that you would improve a lot in your rotational skills just going through the balls like this. You're going to learn a lot more about the cue ball and really grow. So maybe if they played to 25 even, that would be a great game for a beginning player.
Right, yeah. So that way it doesn't get too difficult or too boring. It's funny how
Right,
when
yeah.
the game is difficult, you can get sick of playing, and for an amateur player, and they could set the points total at whatever they want, and 2 players practicing together could even alter the scores. One guy might play to 25, and his opponent might play to 40 or 50, and and that way they can play try and level the playing field a little bit, but. With the break ball in hand, I find that okay. So now he pocketed that 5 ball and scratched. So that point for the 5 ball will go to Jayson Shaw.
And he's going to have ball in hand for his position on the 6.
Yeah, so he'll be able to get off to a nice start here.
But what you started to say right before that, if you wanted to finish elaborating on that, well, you were just talking about the break and the ball in hand and, developing, with the lesser players.
Oh,
and,
yeah, how they could, they can just really develop all aspects of their game. A lot of, especially how you have to play much better position in rotation than playing 9 ball. You can play to a much bigger area usually. Oh, okay, just avoided the scratch there.
Well, and he went rail first on that shot, if you noticed. Fairly complex shot that he made and came around the table, so that was a little risky. Missed the 8, though.
Missed the 8.
Well, let's see how Phil chooses to play this. If he chooses to try to shoot the 8, if he can see enough of it, which I don't think he can.
Yeah, now now here comes the strategy. Do you call safe or do you try to call a pocket? More than likely, I'd imagine he probably called safe down there, and we'll see because he's hooked him, and Phil would have the option if he had called that ball somewhere. Seeing as how Phil looks like he's about to shoot, Jayson called safe and played a good one.
I believe Burford's going to have to play safe on the back end of what he's got here, and that's what he's done.
Yeah, it looks like he showed him the ball, so Jayson should be able to do something with this. I don't know if he'd try to just play the 8 ball down table and get up against that 11 or possibly under the 10. He's got a couple balls in the middle of the table that'll block him. Oh, he's going to try and get under the 15. Nice shot.
And he put him on the back side of it, so that was a real good shot.
Yeah, very good.
And I see in this that really if you can move to a place where you can get ball in hand, you can get right back into this.
Oh, yeah, because especially with the table spread out like this. Okay.
Well, and he's going to have ball in hand. He didn't kick the ball in. So kicking the ball in, there might not be as much reward for kicking the ball in here. Getting the ball in a safety situation where you get ball in hand is going to be the advantage in this game.
Oh, definitely, yeah, because if you can get ball in hand for players like this, it's almost, it's just short of a guarantee that they're going to run out.
Yeah, on a 10-foot table.
Yeah.
They're making it look pretty routine. But these are the best players in the world, best young players
and I
in the
think
world.
I don't think it'd be that great a difference on a 9-foot table as far as how they're going to run out. I think you get two guys like this playing, they're gonna get it done. Whatever you put them on.
Well, Jayson just pocketed the 11 ball, which is his first 2-point ball of the rack. Now the 12, 13, 14, and 15. So he's looking at all 10 points here at the end of the rack and the right to re-break. So this is really important to pocket this last ball.
Yeah, because he could really be build up a nice lead and find himself on that home stretch towards the 100 on his next at the end of his next break. He could be right on the doorstep.
Well, there it is. He pocketed the last ball. And for this rack, Matt, how many did he get total points?
Well, total points, he got, 15 points. Jayson's now leading 71-49. And with this break coming up, he could find himself, quite possibly in the 90s.
Right on the doorstep, yeah.
But at the same time, just one mistake away from Phil scoring on his rack and catching right back up.
And just for the viewers, one more time, that ball count is Jayson Shaw has
71 points, and Phil Burford has 49.
So in theory, if Jayson didn't make anything here, well, it's going to be really difficult. He made a ball on the side. 2.
Okay.
3, I think, total. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Did I count right and the boom's not in front of me? 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 11 balls. He made 4 balls on the break there. And it looks like the 10, the 12, the 11, and the 15, well, all 5 of the 2-pointers are up there. So they must have been lower balls. So they were all 1-pointers, I guess.
Yeah, but still nice to clear the road for a little easier run out without too much traffic to deal with.
Well, he's got a little bit of a tough shot here going from the 4 to the 5, but not tough for him.
Okay. Running that ball made it a little tougher, but he still has a shot here. And let's see. And he's playing up for the 8 ball next, so he can just kind of play this natural. Oh, he opted for the safe. Nice play. Looks like he's showing him a long shot. Doesn't offer too much position. He could just shoot this ball in, try to do something with the cue ball just so he can see the 8 ball and play a safe.
Well, he did pocket the 14 ball. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, wow. What a great shot. Shot that ball in and that 5 ball in and just drew all the way back up table.
Beautiful.
Beautiful shot. Okay, so now Phil's shooting the 9 ball, and the score is 82-49.
Well,
whoa. Yep, it's oh wait, I marked the points in the wrong place. Sorry about that.
yeah, we're correct on the score
Yep, we're
there
correct
on the screen. So it's 79-52. And Phil just missed there. We're on the 10 ball, the last of our 1-point balls. And Jayson's going to be shooting that.
Okay, and now we're shooting the 10 ball. Probably going to play safe here.
1 rail on the side. And left a long shot for the backside of that. And, of course, a miss is just a miss.
Yeah.
No penalty for that.
Nope.
Other than the other player gets to shoot, which can be a big penalty in these guys.
The way Phil shot that 5 ball earlier, I don't think he'll go firing at this one too, I'm sure.
it's fun to watch Phil pocket balls. I've watched him on the 10-footer last year, and I mean, he can be like a machine. Fireballs in the length of this table, and it looks kind of small on the screen at home, but I assure you, when you stand up next to this is a monster. A big table with very tight pockets. And they play great, too, these 10-footers do. Diamond has done a wonderful job. And, you know, coming from the area I came from, too, now we've got the 860 Simonis, the Aramith balls. Look at that.
Oh, great
like
shot.
It was nothing. And force followed it all the way down.
Yep, just a little bit too much.
Wow. But the equipment is so great today, isn't it? We're so fortunate to have these great balls, you know, great cloth, wonderful tables. I mean, when I grew up, it wasn't like this. You played on pretty much whatever you got, and concrete balls were on that a lot of the time.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder what the players of old would have played like on this equipment these days.
I think that's always a good question.
Yeah, it's always the debate.
But you know what? These young players today shoot awfully straight, and they're very adept and knowledgeable, and they come up with a lot of inventive ways of getting from point A to point B. And I don't think you saw as much of that, you know what I mean, in the old days.
Yeah, because you couldn't create the cue ball situations. You know, the way you can manipulate the cue ball and move it these days.
Sure.
A lot of it to do with the speed.
Well, I think everything in our you know, industry has gotten better, as it should.
Yeah, like in every sport, technology.
Well, that was pretty nice save. Jayson Shaw's got something to deal with here on the 11, and he's looking beside the 15. I don't think there's any room to go between these balls. I don't think that's realistic. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to kick, and I would imagine he's calling this, so he's going to go one rail. Wow.
Wow. I'm surprised that he's calling it.
Well, now he's looking at it down the other corner, but, you know, coming behind it, you know, 2 rails.
Probably 2 rails behind it. Oh, wow. He's
better.
He's going 2 rails and trying to play it in the corner.
And he's a little short on that.
But that's where the strategy comes in. Do I call it when you are left safe? Do I call a shot? Do I play a safe? It's, you know, you have to weigh out your options and employ some strategies.
Well, with ball in hand, I would imagine, and Phil got on that 12 ball nicely, which leads directly to the 13. He'll drop off the side rail and get lined up on that. And with the pocketing of the 15, Phil will get the right to break this next rack. So it's important for him to pocket these last 2 balls for sure.
Yeah, and for him that shouldn't be too much of a problem. There he goes. Okay, and with that, we have a score of 79-61. Jayson Shaw still in the lead. But like we spoke before, Phil's breaking now, and you know, within range. He could have a 2-ball lead with 20 balls.
With 20 balls, it's possible he could take the lead here.
Well, should I say 20 points rather, if he were to pocket all 15 balls.
Yeah, it's still a little early in the morning for me. Yeah. Balls came out instead of points, but that's okay.
But yeah, you know, it really, knowing Joe Tucker for so long, it really doesn't surprise me that he's able to come up with a game that is not only can be very competitive and fun, but also a learning tool, something to help you improve your game, and all players can compete at it. With the break ball in hand, players of all levels can play together.
Well, I mean, that's where we're at too. At 79-61, this match is very tight. And we've got Phil breaking, and the possibility of going to 81 with this.
Okay, there goes the 6 ball.
Yes, sir. And they clustered a little down here on the end rail a little bit, little group together, but
it looks
they're
like
makeable.
every ball has a pocket, and it's got a good start with that 1 to the 2 to the 3. So. Just a matter of just keeping that cue ball in line, and Phil could be off and running. Get this game tied up.
Well, I personally don't know Joe well on the comment that you were making earlier about Joe and those guys, but I will say this. I've had several conversations with him. He's a wonderful guy. And his heart is totally that of a pool fan, cares a lot about the game, and he wants to see players get better. I mean, all that he did with the racking secrets, a lot of people are, one side of the fence or the other on that, but it's all legitimate observation. Any of the good players, the good young players today, they pay close attention to what he talked about with the ball gaps. And it really is huge, his contribution. Even though it's subtle and not necessarily noticed by everyone, it's still a lot of good information that's out there for future generations. So he's a contributor to the game.
Yeah, and his willingness to share his knowledge, to study the game and share his knowledge with players and with the masses, really.
There you go.
All starting with his pamphlet, basically drill instruction, a guaranteed improvement.
Right.
I mean, I was amazed when I first started using that, the drills and guaranteed improvement, and how immediately I go and I play, and I'm amazed at how all these shots that I'm practicing in this drill book
right.
are all coming up one after the next after the next. I mean, Joe just has a really great mind for pool.
And, this looks like a nice new invention, having seen this played through. How many racks have we done so far, 6 or 5?
We've done 7 racks. This
7,
is,
okay.
Yep, this is the eighth rack.
We're in the 8th rack, okay. And it went by just that quickly, folks. We're now at 79 to 66. And Phil has the opportunity here to, close the gap and take the lead. And it's happening all in the 8th rack. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, and also it's nice. The game is moving along. Oh, you had to force that one in a little bit.
Yeah, he jawed her up there. Showed a little humanity there.
yeah, he won't miss too many. But now this is a dangerous time for him in this game now, because at 79 points with 19 left, Jayson could basically, if he could run out, he could take ball in hand, break and take ball in hand and just pocket a couple balls in the next rack, and it'll be over.
He's seeing the goal line possibly, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was one where, if Phil played the game a few more times, he would have really recognized the importance of really making sure at that point that he doesn't make a mistake. Really bear down on every shot.
Well, Jayson's got a tough shot here on the 9 ball. Well, he drew back like it was
Made
nothing.
it look pretty easy.
Yeah, he did. And that wasn't easy on this big box, I'll tell you.
No. Oh, now he's just got natural position back up table for the 11.
Very nicely
All pretty
done.
easy for him at this point.
And the 11 and 12 are right there. The 13's down table here. Would come up and get a little angle here, and then get right down there for the 13. I don't know if he'll go forward or backward here. Probably.
It looks like he's going to go forward. Nope, backwards.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he was cueing that way. And he might have got a little out of line there.
Yeah, just didn't get it quite back as far as he wanted to.
Now, these last 3 balls are going to be very important here, because they're going to decide who breaks the next rack, and that's everything.
Well, Jayson will be breaking the next rack, but getting out here makes it almost a guarantee that he's gonna win the game, because with this ball now,
94, I believe.
Yeah, 94 to 66, and Jayson is breaking. So Jayson only needs 6 more points to win the match. Yeah, two top players really moved through this game pretty quick. This game
very
to
enjoyable,
this game to 100.
to watch.
Oh, very, very. And it was nice that last rack we were able to see a little bit of the defensive side of the game.
Well, Matt, I got to tell you, I really like what I've seen here, and it is enjoyable to watch these guys play on a 10-foot table and run out like this. And this has gone really quickly.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
And even though some players might feel that the break ball in hand could be a little odd to some people, I think it creates a nice sense of competition. Both players are going to have their chance to score, and they're both going to have their opportunities.
Well, Jayson needs 6 balls here to
Yeah,
close
and
this out.
this was the most odd break as far as how the ball's positioned, all basically to one side of the table.
Right.
So it comes down to, kind of comes down to how he wants to fall on this 2. 3's going to be a little funny. I'd imagine he's going to try and slide through once he gets up there on the 2. He's probably going to try and find a position where he can just follow through those balls and get a position on the 3 on the corner. It looks like he's gotten there.
Is there a name for this league, the new league that's forming?
I believe it's the American Billiard Club League.
American Billiard Club
Yes,
League.
the game is American rotation, but I believe it's American Billiard Club League, and I strongly urge all players to try and get involved. It's I really think that it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, that was a muscle shot right there.
That was a great shot.
Shot the 3 ball on the side and drew end rail, side rail with spin up to the 4.
Yeah, he just wanted to give us a little show at the end there,
Yeah, that was a trick shot exhibition shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, now that he's coming down the home stretch, he only needs 2 more balls.
There's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, stay out of the side pocket.
Yep, he looks to be pretty good. Rolling up there on the 6.
Well, the only thing he hadn't shown us is a billiard, so.
Yeah, the way he's looking at it, it looks like it's probably a little tight, but goes. Oh, he goes.
Combination.
Made the combination. Hey.
Got an extra point, 101 to 66. And our winner is Jayson Shaw. Well, Matt Tetrault, I want to thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
This has been great.
It really has. And like I said, it was a pleasure to watch 2 great players play this game. And I really think this game has a future.
Well, we here at Accu-Stats, I know we want to wish you all the best. And, for Mark Griffin and Joe Tucker and their new league, we really wish you all the best with that, because a lot of good things can happen if we just work together and get the amateurs involved with the professional sport. I think this has a long-term possibility of maybe being able to do that. And, I certainly hope for that, in my lifetime.
Yes, I do as well. And with Joe Tucker and Mark Griffin behind it, I really think that they could achieve a high level. Like I said, I think their plan is basically to take it from a league maybe to a regional or national tour.
We got a replay on that draw. What a nice shot. My goodness. That's
the way he bent that around. Yeah, beautiful.
That was really nice. But thanks so much for coming in this afternoon.
Okay, my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
We hope to see this on YouTube soon. For Bill Gibbs and Accu-Stats, Matt Tetrault, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you soon.
Okay, take care. Thank you.